I'm pretty sure I just chipped my tooth with this microphone. Okay. So typically when I'm writing scripts, I tend to write my characters with certain actors and actresses already in mind because I can only work with what I have. You know, I can't call up, you know, a bunch of working actors in the industry or anything to get them to come down here and do my tiny little movie. But thankfully, having been a part of the Ocean Springs High School Theater Department and also doing theater at Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, I have met so many amazing people. I mean, they're here. It's these people. I have met these people through all of those programs, and they've been good friends of mine for a very long time. And so when I went back to my original script, which I wrote like 3.5 years ago for this, that ended up being the stage version. That script was awful, by the way, that's just a side note. When I went to adapt it for film, almost all the dialogue was completely rewritten. Because when I decided I wanted to make this a movie, I was like, okay, I instantly have to think about what actors am I going to get for this, because I don't want to hold auditions, because I don't think anybody would have showed up. So when I decided I was going to handpick everybody, I rewrote all the dialogue because I was like, these are where these actors' strengths lie, and I know for a fact that these people specifically would be able to deliver these lines incredibly well. So that influenced a lot of the dialogue. So once I finished adapting it for film, I just went back through my head, was like, which actor was I thinking about when I wrote that line? Oh, this actor, okay, yeah, I'm gonna reach out to them and ask them to do the movie. So yeah, there was no audition process. I just knew from the second I finished adapting the film version that these were the people that I wanted to work with, and I'm so grateful that they're the ones I chose because they're incredible.
I'm pretty sure it was just an Instagram DM. You were like, hey, do you want to like be in my movie? And I was like, hell yeah. And you were like, okay, well, you could either be Beth or Joanna. And I was like, okay. And then that was essentially it, I think. We kind of went back and forth a bit between Beth and Joanna, but then we settled on Joanna.
Instagram DM. I was like the third person in line for Beth.
Yeah.
I think I was one of the last people he asked to join the film.
Can I be totally honest with you?
Yeah, go ahead.
We're not gonna air anybody's stuff out on stage, but the reason you were the first person I thought of. The reason you weren't the first person I reached out to is because for some reason I thought you didn't like me.
Well, no, I'm here. So,
Thank you.
But no, yeah. So it was Milena, and then it was Kensley.
Who's here? Hi, Kensley.
We were at a pool party, and I was like, Kensley.
I was like, Sophia would do the role so much better.
And then I was like, should I do this? And she was like, do it. And I was like, okay. And I was like, I got time on my hands. So right after work, I would just go film, and so yeah, it was really fun. Enjoyed it. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So, it was your voice?
Yes, it was.
You're welcome. Anyways, so back when, not tying myself up, but back when you originally wrote the original script for the stage play, Xavier quite literally told me that he based Jess off of me, which did not raise my ego at all. That kind of like, in the moment when you said that, I was like, that is kind of a jab, but it's okay, because I take it as like, yes, I'm a high school girl, like one of those high school girls back in, what was that, like sophomore year?
That was sophomore.
Sophomore year? Yeah, no. But, so I was originally gonna be in the stage play version. I really wanted to be, but I was a minor and there were a lot of iffy, like, situations regarding that, so I ended up just being a backstage tech, which I loved for the show, but I also, I always wanted to be in, like, the film version. The moment Xavier brought up the film version, I was like, I'm gonna be in that. I have to be in that. So when Xavier reached out and said, it's happening, we're turning it into a movie, I'm like, yep, I'll be in it. I don't care who I am, I know who I am going to be, but I don't care if I'm not her, I have to be in it. So that's how I ended up.
He texted me. I didn't have his number saved. I didn't even know who it was.
I know Canon through Lucas, so yeah. Someone just like some random weirdo on Instagram is like, "Hey, I want to film you."
No, I was like, I don't know. You don't know me through like acting roles or anything like that, so I don't know. Did you just write it with like the template white guy?
This is Canon's first ever acting role. I
This
just
was
wanna throw
Canon's
that
first
out
ever
there.
acting role.
Thank
Did
you.
you do a good job?
Thank you.
No, Sean was the only person the only character I didn't write with a certain person in mind. But I saw a picture of you, and I was like, yeah, that's him.
I know it's hard to look at pictures of me and be like, that's not him. I am. Anyway.
Xavier didn't exactly reach out to me. I found out about the film through Canon, and Canon was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be in a movie," and I was like, and I wasn't invited to be in the movie. And then I found out through Canon that he was interested in assigning the role as Emma to me. So I was like, huh, okay, yeah, I'll do it, and that's it.
Me and Xavier and everyone worked on Three Musketeers at Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, and we did. Me and Xavier worked on the sword choreography together, and we had so much fun doing that. So like we were kind of just throwing like, hey, what if like I remember Xavier throwing at me just like, hey, what if like we worked on a movie or something? That'd be so fun. I'd be like, yeah, you know, just like one of those passing conversations. And then he showed me the Cold as Serving script, and I'm like, dude, can I write the fight scenes for this movie? And he was like, I wouldn't consider anyone else. So I was like, I was so happy to be aboard, and we were sitting there doing Three Musketeers, and now we're sitting up here on stage. We've come so far just this past year alone, and my favorite experience has just been working with everybody here, and everyone here has been very life-changing, and I love everybody here like family, so.
We love you too, man.
It's been a great experience.
Love you, man. Love you, man.
Everybody pretty much who knows me knows that I do special effects makeup. So if somebody needs anything regarding special effects makeup, they always text me. So Xavier just shot me an Instagram message and was like, "Hey, are you still doing makeup?" And I was like, "Yes, of course I'm still doing makeup. Why do you ask?" And he was like, "I'm doing a movie." And I said, "I don't even need to know anything else, yes."
I want to do mine a little bit because I found out whenever, because me and Christina worked together, she came into work, she was like, "Oh yeah, Xavier's doing a movie, I'm gonna be in it." And I was like, "Oh my god, that's so cool." And then I was like, "Wait, he's doing a movie?" And she's like, "Yeah." And then I was like, "Oh my god, he hasn't asked me to do anything yet. I must have done something wrong." Oh dear God, I have upset him. And that was when we were doing 12 Angry Jurors with BLT, me and Lucas were. And after rehearsal one night, we were sitting in my car, we were waiting on Xavier to come pick Lucas up. And I was talking to Lucas, and I was like, "Did I do something? Is Xavier upset with me?" He was like, "No. Why? Why would you think that?" And I was like, "Well, he's doing a movie and he hasn't even asked me to help him with anything." And I thought I made myself open to help. And anyway, but then Xavier shows up and he's like, "Hey, so I'm doing a movie. You want to help?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course I do." Anyway.
It was very obvious to you that Lucas came home and told me your concerns, and I was like,
I was very worried.
I was like, no, I love Hannah. She can't. And also, you're also just so amazing. And so, like, of course, I was always, I think in the back of my mind, I was always going to bring you on board in some way. And also, even if I didn't reach out, eventually you would have brought yourself to message me and be like, "Hey,
I
hello."
almost did. I was almost like gonna call him and just be like, "Hey, I heard you're doing movies. You didn't ask me to help you. I just don't know if I did something wrong." Anyway,
Production assistant. There you go.
Yeah.
I was not on set a singular day. I need to be so transparent with that. The only thing I did was moral support. If you get on Instagram and you look at the Headspace Instagram, I'm the one who wrote the interview questions, which is why I'm up here hosting this.
It was a
Anyway.
scheduling thing. We
It
just
was a really big scheduling thing. I had to work a lot during the summer. Also, I decided to take physics during the summer. Don't ever do that. It was a horrible decision. Anyway.
We're gonna go ahead and pass it over to the audience now. If you have any questions, we're going to have someone in the crowd bring one of the wireless. One of you is gonna have to give up a microphone. I apologize. We're gonna pass a wireless microphone to anybody in the crowd who has a question. If you have a question, I'm gonna pass this down. Can you pass this down to Lucas?
Yes,
If you have a question about the movie or anything else related to the movie, all you have to do, just raise your hand. Lucas will come to you. When you ask your question, say who your question is for, and then ask it. So, if anybody has a question, please raise your hand, or a topic of discussion in general you just want to
Raise
bring
your
up.
hand.
Lucas over there.
Just take note of everyone who's raising their hand.
I guess my question is for you, Xavier. Is there any significance behind why you set the movie in December, or am I just thinking way too much about it?
So this was one of the things that wasn't so great about the stage version, is because initially I was like, this is gonna take place on Christmas, because what if the people were tied to the chairs with Christmas lights? Yeah, you can laugh. It's a terrible idea. I don't know why.
It's very aesthetically, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I even remember when we did the stage version, Sarah at the Mary C, who, by the way, I forgot to shout out. Unfortunately, she's not here tonight, but Sarah here at the Mary C is incredible. She made all of this possible, so shout out to Sarah. I wish she could be here. Yeah, so, oh Jesus, I'm blanking. Help me. What was your question? I'm so sorry.
December.
Why is it set in December?
The original version of the script, it wasn't so much focused on the themes of revenge. It was more so focused on the themes of redemption and forgiveness. Because in the original draft of the script, Joanna and Beth walk out of that shed together. Joanna did not kill Beth in the original version. And so I set it on Christmas because I started thinking, like, what would be like a good time of year to set this film thematically? And I was like, well, if the message at the end of the film is about forgiveness and redemption, what better time of year to set it at than Christmas? Where, you know, a lot of the, how do I phrase this? A lot of the themes of Christmas sort of go hand in hand with that. Obviously, this film is deeply unholy, as you all just witnessed. But thematically, narratively, a lot of the themes made sense to me about forgiveness and forgiving each other and just trying to be as good to each other as you possibly can, even when the situation is incredibly desolate. So that was the initial reason it was set during Christmas. I never changed the time of year that it was set in. I couldn't tell you why, because those themes of forgiveness are very clearly not in this version of the film. But yeah, I guess it was sort of, if I had to justify it for the film version, it would be Christmas is supposed to be such a happy and such a wonderful time. It's the most wonderful time of year, as I'm sure some of us have heard. So I like the juxtaposition of that, like a time of year that's supposed to be so joyful and so happy, and yet these are what these people are dealing with. And unfortunately, it's a reality for a lot of people that around holiday season, a lot of people aren't doing too well. And I think it's important to acknowledge that as well, because a lot of people get lost in all the joy and the fun that they're having, and you know, a lot of people aren't doing too well that time of year. So I think it's good to acknowledge that.
Thank you.
I don't think anybody's feeling that bad, though. I'll be honest
Okay,
with
no,
you.
maybe not. Like Jigsaw isn't active during Christmas time, I don't think.
I
But
think he takes time off from holidays.
all right, more. No?
Hello, so this question is for anyone that knows anything about money up there. But what is the budget y'all had for this movie?
Like $300, right?
What'd you say?
Like $300, right?
Not that cheap, Canon.
Hey, I'm an executive producer. You can't.
Canon is an executive producer.
Yeah, I
Thank you
gave
for the
$50.
$50.
Yeah. Call
Thank
me
you for
cheap.
the. We had a budget of $500, only $500. Which, if you, just in comparison, if you don't know, the average budget for an indie film is typically anywhere from 1 to 5 million. So we only had a budget of 500, and we tried to do what we could with it.
What independents are making movies? They
I'm
got
gonna
five.
get you after this guy because I've seen him raise his hand like a million times now. indie film project, which is kind of like this, and we don't have any money. So, because like we're seniors that are gonna go into college with a lot of debt. So, yeah, just what kind of cameras have we used, and like, are they accessible to poor little seniors like us?
Do you have an iPhone, sir?
Yes. Oh, I have an Android.
Oh, okay. No, screw you then. Next question. No. Okay. The short film I made before this, Monotony, that one was filmed on a Canon Rebel T6. That one is not publicly available, unfortunately, and it probably never will be. We started to film this movie on a Canon Rebel T6 DSLR camera, and there were certain things with the lighting that just weren't working out, and I found that the camera on my iPhone 14 Pro adapted to lighting very well, because we were filming in some pretty dark environments most of the time, some very bright environments most of the time, and there is a mode on the camera on the iPhone 14 Pro and any iPhone, a couple iPhones before that and after that, called cinematic mode. You switch on cinematic mode and it looks like that, and it's pretty cool. And I hated having to choose to switch to the iPhone because for some reason part of me felt that that made this movie less credible, I guess. For some reason it made it feel like this wasn't, I mean, obviously we're not like professional, but I wanted everybody to be able to take it seriously, and I felt like it was gonna be hard to take it seriously if there isn't like a big movie camera in front of you filming you, and it's just like a tiny little, like me crouched down, holding an iPhone in your face, in my flip-flops.
Flip-flops sweat.
Drenched in sweat.
Flip-flops are very
But yeah, we use an iPhone 14 Pro, although I will say the Canon Rebel T6, which my dad got me a while back, it is a very good camera for filming daytime scenes. So I would recommend that camera if you write a film and it all like takes place during the day. You could film the entirety of the movie on that camera because the white balance, the lighting exposure on it, these are all very nerdy things, I'm sorry. That camera has a very good UI for filming in daytime, so that's the one I would recommend.
Don't let the fact that Xavier used his iPhone fool you. He put tape on the top and the bottom of his phone, and I don't think he ever took it off throughout the entirety of filming. He treated that phone like $1 million camera. Like, I'm so serious.
He tried to make it look like it was.
We had to.
It looked great, and he thought of everything whenever he had to start using his phone.
I do gotta say, even though it was an iPhone, I think you could have the best, biggest movie camera. If you're crouching down in front of me in flip-flops, I'm still not gonna take it seriously.
We had to like tape microphones on the ceiling, and you know, we had to work with what we got.
I had to crouch down, and I had to be used as a table for a microphone in one of the
we were like
scenes.
laying on the floor, and in the scene when they were in the car, me and Xavier were in the back with a laptop and cameras and this microphone, all in a cramped car. So
yeah, almost everybody in this cast adopted a different role on set at some point. Matt, even though he played Roy and was also the fight choreographer, he was also a boom operator on certain days, holding the mic for me while I was filming. And multiple people, Trish did that as well too on a few occasions. Yeah. Also, just a little side note about the iPhone thing. If you, sir, fellow filmmaker over here, if you're worried about not having a lot of resources and you're kind of thinking to yourself, maybe it would be easier to just film it on the phone because it's good picture quality, but you're kind of worried that people won't take you seriously if you're filming it on an iPhone, like, don't worry about that. 28 years Later, by the way, was filmed on an iPhone 16. It can be done. As long as you know what you're doing behind the camera, you can make anything look good. It doesn't matter what camera you're using.
Just don't tell them it's filmed on an iPhone.
Lie to the aristocrats. I'm sorry.
You gotta
All right, Lucas? Questions?
Okay, this is more directed for the artist at the end down here, but for all of you, so if we can we start on this side? But what was the most challenging thing that you had to do throughout the film, especially when you're doing wounds like that? Is it small lacerations, bruises. But for all of you, you know, as actors and producers or whatever it is that you're doing, what was the most challenging part of the entire thing?
For me, the most challenging part is definitely exit wounds for bullet wounds because they're such an organic shape that it's hard to replicate, and it's definitely hard when you're filming on multiple days to recreate the exact same makeup look for fight scenes and stuff.
Put your latex in the fridge. Are doing an exit wound? Make your exit wound, put it in the fridge, cool it, and then.
Thank you.
Are you asking like what was my biggest challenge with my portion? Safety. That was my biggest thing because we were in such a small shed. As y'all saw, that shed was tiny. We were all cramped in there. So to do a fight scene, I was panicking for them because like I was worried like someone was gonna hit their head or you know someone was gonna trip and fall. So that was the biggest challenge for me was to show them like safety and stuff. But they pulled it off really well. So at the end, I didn't really worry about it.
I want to say my biggest challenge was being able to adapt to a lot of last minute changes on set. And also the weather too. There was a bunch of mosquitoes out, it was really hot, it was pretty unbearable. So working through that was pretty hard for me.
Acting. Go ahead.
We could tell.
Shut up.
So the most difficult thing for me is, and I think I said this in my interview too, I've never died on camera before. I've also never died on stage before. So learning that for the first time in the moment it was fun, but it was also pretty difficult. That was probably one of the most challenging things. Also, I don't know if I would consider myself a shy person, but I guess when it comes to a camera, I get kind of iffy. So screaming was really difficult to like work up to. So the original scream when the dad gets shot, that took forever to actually be able to do. But then the fight scene one was easier because it's adrenaline and you know. But
That was a great scream, by the way. That's an incredible horror movie scream. When Roy first gets shot, your scream, initially it was going to be completely.
It was perfect.
Initially it was going to be completely silent, and it was just going to be the visual of your face, and we could tell that you're screaming, which was also in there. But then when you actually did the scream, I was like, I have to show two different angles of this, and one of them has to have the scream in there because it was so good. Just wanted to put that out there.
Memorizing lines really quickly, but actually that wasn't too bad. I would say having to keep energy up all the time and trying to remember what scenes you filmed a week before, or 2 weeks before, because some of them were we did them out of order. So it was like, one scene was this day, another scene was another. So just trying to keep it chronologically coherent without it seeming like we did do it out of order. So trying to make sure it was coherent throughout all the days, throughout the filming. So I would say just energy, because there were some days where we all were just exhausted from either A, the heat, or we had jobs that we came from and then had to scream and cry and faint and bleed and all that stuff, and you know, and do it in front of the camera and just do it over and over and over again. So I think energy was just a really big thing that was a challenge to overcome.
I think the biggest challenge for me was definitely crying. I could not, for the life of me, make myself cry whenever it was necessary. Like, whenever Jess dies, Joanna is supposed to, like, sob her heart out, and I was like, you guys, I can't. That is a flaw on my part, but that was definitely on top of the heat, on top of all the physical things, for me, crying was the worst.
We used to have, we had a spray bottle. And like when some of us were out of the scene, like if it was a Cannon and Lynn, and we'd be like, spray bottle, and like spray, and be like, tears.
what's funny about that though is that the spray bottle was supposed to be like when you got too hot and it was supposed to like cool you down, but I would sit there and I'd be like, all right, just spray it in my eye. Go ahead.
The biggest challenge. That was the question, right? What was the big, okay.
Right, biggest challenge. Okay.
The biggest challenge I think for me was having to cut certain things. We shot this movie cumulatively, like all the days combined together, if you were to combine them in a row, in only 2 weeks. So 14 days, it might have been only 12 or 13, I don't exactly remember, but because of that, and because of schedule differences, and people not being able to show up like every single day and things like that, and trying to work around everybody's schedule so that everybody gets done what they need to get done, there were multiple scenes that were, the script was 50 pages long, and one of the rules with screenwriting is each single page of a screenplay is supposed to equal 1 minute of screen time, like 1 minute of runtime in the film. The script was 50 pages. The film is not 50 minutes long. The film is only 36 minutes long. So we had to cut out a few things. I was worried we were gonna have to cut out one of the flashbacks, but I think the hardest part for me was having to cut what was initially supposed to be the opening scene. Because in the version that you all just watched, it was like instant. You are in the shed, like you're in it, and deal with it. Initially, the opening scene, I don't know if anyone in this room has seen the film Midsummer, but if you have seen the film Midsummer, it was inspired by the opening scene of that film, where, and this is very sad, just gonna put out a warning here, where the lead character finds that her sister has not only taken her own life, but also taken the lives of both of their parents. I know you guys are looking at me like, what is this kid watching? Like, why does he devote so much time?
20 years old, by the way.
I'm 20 years old. It was inspired by that. So initially the opening scene was Beth arriving home. She's on the phone with Joanna to sort of set up those characters. She goes inside and she finds Emma. Like, she's trying to get in the room, the door's locked, she doesn't know what's going on. So the scene in this film where Sophia's talking about the night she died, I sat outside her door, promised her I was gonna be there for her. That was a scene that we shot, and we just weren't able to keep it in the film because we weren't able to get every single shot of it that we needed. And there were also scheduling conflicts as well that made it a bit more difficult. So I would say that was the hardest part for me, is just because I have such a specific vision for things, and it really hurts as a writer when you have to bite the bullet and cut out certain things that you wrote, because you want to keep everything in there because you put so much effort into every single scene. And so when you have to remove something, it's just like, damn, like I don't want to take that out because it came from such a real place, like emotionally. And yeah, but when I watched the final cut of the film for the first time, that all went away, and I was very proud of what we made.
I want to make like a joke, like in a lighter sense. I just want to say that this film, its biggest challenge or its biggest threat was cats.
Yes.
So not only that, but also
The dog.
Kendall's cat scratched me on the chest on the scene where I was just sitting in the bed, and it hurt really bad.
It's down with
I
the
think you
feline.
can see it. I think you can see it. It's huge, but like we just ran into so many issues with cats. I don't know why.
Yeah, the universe was trying to it's like we were not supposed to make this movie, I don't think. It was trying to stop us at every
No,
turn.
you guys you just aren't supposed to have cats. I think
Yeah, our cat almost blinded you.
Yeah. No, like that. I have a scar on my eye now.
He also chose to film one of the biggest scenes in the shed on the hottest day of the year. So
Wasn't that
was
the
fun.
fight scene?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The fight scene was
on the hottest
hottest
day of the year in
Yeah.
that shed. So that was a good time.
Wasn't it like 110?
The heat index that day was 110 degrees, y'all. Yeah,
I remember reading an article that cats mimic their owners. So are you violent? Are you violent?
And that's all the
Are
time.
you violent, Lewis?
Yeah.
All right, Lucas, we got Kensley back there.
Hi.
Hand up. Run.
Okay, so I know this is a very heavy show, and I know you mentioned that you love to hoot and holler. But also, I know you mentioned using the song to get into like the emotions of like the scene and everything. Is there any like weird things that y'all did to like get into character? Because I know y'all are all supposed to, you know, be kind of wild and this.
I know for me personally, it's not that I did anything specific, but I was in like, for the fight scene, for example, again, it was the hottest day of the year, the heat index was really high. I didn't have to pretend to be angry. I was in such a bad mood already from the heat and everything. I was like, oh my God, get it over with. But it's really fun, so.
I didn't do this to get into character because I was just the makeup artist, but I did look at a lot of pictures of dead people to prepare for the wounds and everything.
She wants it to be as authentic as possible.
Hey, in defense of Trish, try to find a special makeup effects artist who has not done that. You will not find one.
I didn't do anything, but that song you mentioned, the only song that does that to me is Radioactive by Imagine
There is no way.
It is, no.
Get out.
It's the music video. It's not even the song. The song is good. It's the stuffed animals, they fight each other like dog
They're the
fighters.
rage cave?
They are not supposed to do that. Okay, they're not supposed to do that. They're little stuffed animals, okay?
Good night, guys. Go home.
Oh, also, No Surprises by Radiohead.
I'm sorry, what?
No Surprises by Radiohead.
Cannon's not allowed in our next event.
Oh,
Cannon,
man.
We're gonna take away your microphone here soon, buddy.
I'll leave, guys.
Cannon, may I ask who your favorite band is?
Who my favorite band is?
Yeah.
I don't listen to me.
Yeah, it shows. It shows. Okay.
Okay, so I think a lot of actors do this, specifically, this specific thing that I did. It's hard to watch someone pretend die and think that they actually died. So specifically watching Cannon's character die, I tried to make it look as authentic as possible, as if my best friend's dying. So I had to envision in my brain my boyfriend dying, because that's the only person I could think that would.
You're not.
Because he doesn't, he's.
You didn't
Anyways.
picture me dying? You're not that attached to me that just the thought of me dying brings tears to your eye? Wow. And here I thought we were friends.
No, but like, I imagined a lot of people dying in the moment, but specifically because it was a lot of male characters, and I couldn't imagine my own family dying, because I wouldn't want to do it anymore. Just envisioning that, like, even in the slightest, it brought a lot of emotions to me, so that helps. But I mean, it's not necessarily the greatest tactic. I bet there's more out there that I could have indulged in, but that helped.
It's not really the most healthy either, but unfortunately, that's like the most common.
Have you ever cared about the state of your actors? Slugging us in that touch.
I would like to point out that we had ice cold water on set every day, so I don't know what you're complaining about.
Liar.
I had a couple accidents too. In fact, I had a piercing that was like actively healing. And I thank you, Xavier, and thank you for everybody who was on set all the time, because y'all would literally stop filming to make sure that I was okay. And there was one time where we had a fight scene between me and Sophia. I think it's when she pistol whips me. And she kicked me too hard, and she cut me. I was scared. I thought, oh my gosh, my piercing's about to fall out of my body. But once it was cleaned up, it just so happened where the scratch was right above where the piercing goes in. So it just didn't affect my piercing at all.
So lesson learned: don't wear piercings during fights.
Yeah.
It was what kind of piercing was it? It was a belly button, right? Yeah, it was a belly button.
So it was revealed the whole time, and there was a lot of sweat getting in it and stuff. But you know, everybody who was on set made sure the entire time, every single day, that I was okay, that everybody else was okay, and they would like bring me we had rubbing alcohol on set 24/7 the whole time, and like those little pads that the alcohol pads, also had those on set 24/7, just to make sure that everybody was okay and not bleeding.
No, Yasmin takes should go, wait guys, whip out an alcohol light. Okay, that's it. Okay. I guess for me, honestly, I can't say I did anything crazy. I mean, I just that good, you know. That's a joke. That's a joke. Hashtag joke. But I would just say, again, I agree with Lynn. The heat already makes you a little tad, you know, angry. So I think it helps a little bit. But I mean, I really didn't have to do anything crazy to just be like, grr, grr, murder, murder, die, everybody die.
So you're just naturally evil.
Yeah. I'm just naturally that good. So that's where I'll leave it off.
Yeah, a lot of our jobs were like very affected us emotionally a lot. Serving children, like many ages of children up until 12, and just everybody here just happened to be going through a lot during that time, and so when we get on the set, we were like, okay, we're going to release all of our anger and all of our sadness and all of our emotions in this film. Like as soon as
I think that's why the fight scene looked so good, because we were all releasing our pent-up aggressions.
Yeah, what if we told you we didn't actually choreograph that and we just put Lynn and Sophia in a room together and that's just what happened?
Told them to do
Like
it
they
now.
do in the music video of Imagine Dragons.
Shut up!
Why are we still talking about Imagine Dragons?
It's sad.
Hey, if
We're
anyone wants
messing
to,
around, we all love Canon.
if anyone wants to edit that, I'll pay you.
Lynn, answering the question.
I answered the question. Yeah.
You did!
I did.
Boo.
We all did.
We all did.
So,
Next question.
Wait,
Wait.
It's my turn, what do you mean?
Oh, never mind.
Yes.
Okay, go. Yes.
No.
I don't think I did anything weird to get into character. There were some parts where I tried to get myself to cry, and I just rubbed a Vicks Maple Rub in my eyes, and it just did not work. And I just studied her character throughout the script, and that's it. My character.
Alright, do we have anybody else in the audience who would like
Anybody else?
to? No? Okay, Hannah, do you want to give us some closing discussion?
One little closing discussion, because I'm now aware that there are young artists in this room as well. This is no one's fault. I kind of wanted to answer the creative question earlier, and this is completely fine. Yeah, I'm happy because it gave me more time to think about what I really wanted to say, and it's this. Just make the art. It does not have to look good right now. If you have an idea in your head, write it out, paint it, whatever. Just get it out. You can perfect it later. This has been a very inspiring, because as I've said before, I was not there a singular day on set because I had so many scheduling issues. But just, I have great friends, and I'm very blessed to say that I have great friends like Xavier, because he has had the guts to put himself out there and make an entire movie, and now we are all sitting here and we got to watch it. And every single person that is on this panel, I have no doubts in my mind that all of you are going to achieve great and wonderful things. I'm very proud of each and every single one of y'all.
Even Matt?
Thanks, John. Even who?
Of course we're proud of
We're
Matt.
proud of Matt. Why do they keep
I'm
throwing
kidding.
him under the
What is
bus?
up with you, man?
I love
Hannah, I'm fixing to take your microphone away,
I
okay?
love Matt.
First you say you like an Imagine Dragons song.
Hey,
Yeah.
I never said I
Now
liked
you
it.
say
I never said I liked it.
Okay.
The opposite.
Hannah, you were saying.
Anyways, my point is that I'm very proud of every single one of you that are on this panel. Thank you all so much for coming out tonight. Earlier I checked, Xavier was looking at his phone, it was 7:40. Thank you all for coming out. This is like the third time I've said it. But thank you so much for supporting indie artists, and I encourage you to continue to do that.
You all are legends. You
Thank you.
paid money to be here and watch a film that local artists made. No one got paid to make this, and you all paid to be here and watch this film tonight. Do you have any idea how inspiring that is? Look at these amazing
very
artists also. Do you
encouraging,
know how
yes.
this must feel for them? You guys are really the ones to thank here. Thank you so much for coming out.
Thank
I think it is so important, especially right now, to support local artists, and you guys are helping us just get one step closer to achieving our dreams. So you guys are the real legends here. Thank you so much for coming out.